welcome to Live Your Brand Growth Training. This has been amazing because we've had several awesome people on our panel or on the platform today. And today I'm thrilled to actually introduce you to another young brother by the name of Chandler Thomas. Chandler, welcome to the platform. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for having me. First and foremost, it's a blessing and honor to be here. So I'm amazing. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm hanging in there in the midst of all that's going on in the world. I'm
Yeah.
here and I'm grateful. But real quick, I want to introduce Chandler and I want to tell you guys about him before we get started. So, Chandler has a master's in business and education. His background has been working in marketing for Google and Nike in Los Angeles. He's a former collegiate athlete turned entrepreneur, breaking down the stereotypes of our community, showing others that we can have ownership and be our own boss. I love that. And he's helping others achieve their goals and creating freedom, in their lives. I like that, Chandler. Like you help others create freedom within their lives. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So life is all, let's you think about today when so many people, everyday person really thinks about freedom, but really doesn't have the opportunity to really create it for themselves, right? The typical everyday American is going to a job, 9 to 5, really trading their time for money. And what we like to do, what we want to people start thinking about is like what they truly want to do. What kind of freedom do they want to have? Or do they also want to just, work a job or do things they don't want to do their entire life? And creating freedom is what we're at, like, time freedom, if it's, financial freedom, and if it's just freedom to just do what they want when they want to do it.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you. I mean, I live that life where I prefer being financially free than tied.
I agree.
So let's talk about our current climate and what's happening in the world right now and how it's affecting business owners and employees.
Yeah, as you can see with this pandemic going on, a lot of businesses have been forced to shut down, right? They've been forced to close down, and even with people not being out moving around, business has kind of went down. So we see that, over time, not only is the business going down, they can't also be able to keep up with their, employees, right? I talk to so many business owners every single day is that they want to take care of the employees and not lose these quality employees, but they don't have any business coming in. A lot of them focus on foot traffic and so many other things. And a lot of them don't have anything set up in place. So if anything was to happen to their store, if they weren't able to bring income in, they're pretty much get closed. They said so many mainly small businesses are being shut down right now simply because of, the lack of clientele that's able to bring in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, based on the situation, I know we were just speaking about how between 55 and 60 million Americans have lost their jobs within the past, what you said, 5, 6 months?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
the unemployment rate at an all-time high right now. You see that why so many people are focused on the, government subsidies, stimulus checks, government packages, unemployment, and so many people that had, everyday working jobs, like maybe working at a restaurant or, working at your local grocery, or so many different things are been the hours have been cut, the hours have been completely, they don't even work at all. They're furloughed. And a lot of people has been laid off. So, you see with unemployment being at an all-time high right now, people are really, really scared, right? They're really
Right.
uncertain of their future. They have no idea what's next. They really don't have any sense of control right now. And you see with that, the first, there's three things that people are really looking for right now in today's climate, right? They want, it's kind of a sense of control. They want to be able to control and have a little bit idea of what's going on, right? They want ownership of their career. They want to know what they're doing, where they're doing it, how they're doing it, right? And then lastly, people want financial freedom, right? They're looking at this opportunity right now. They're seeing what's going on, and their eyes are being finally open to knowing that there's more out there than just kind of clocking in for a job. And the fact that they have to do that is almost mandatory now or vital for your survival right now.
Of course, of course. So one of the things that you do, you help people in this type of situation. So can you tell us some of the things that folks right now need to know? Those who are unemployed and don't have jobs and don't have benefits. What are some options for them right now?
Yeah, so right now it's a great time to really start thinking about where you're at financially and where you want to go. right? And our company, we provide a vast, we do really two things, right? So we're a part of a large leadership network. And the two things that we do is one, right, help build leaders. So in a time like right now, we need leaders more than ever, right? Really to help lead this way. And then the second thing we do is help people become debt free and financially independent. So in this time, people who are actually struggling or looking or trying to figure out, our company offers help. We actually come out and you actually have opportunities to hear what we do to see if it can be a good match for you. See if we have a top opportunity to help you get closer to your goals and achieve your dreams, right?
So how does that happen? Like, what do you do to help
So we
people?
actually do a lot of one-on-ones. We have group presentations. We do a lot of education. What we do is take more of an educational approach and then show people their options, right? There's no one shoe fits all, especially when it comes to people's finances.
Right.
Everybody has different goals, different plans they want to accomplish. And it's simply everybody has a different budget, right? Some people
Right.
care about their future than a little bit others. So everything is different. And as we sit down with clients, we actually figure out how we can best serve them,
Okay,
right? And
so
yeah,
let me give you an example. Let's say you have somebody who is really making minimum wage, right? And they're working in a retail store, and unfortunately, this retail store had to close,
yeah.
for whatever reason, and now they're out of a job and they're collecting unemployment, and it's just, it's not enough because they have kids and whatnot, and so they're pretty much out of cash, out of money, don't have a budget for anything. How do you help someone like this?
First, we offer our business opportunity, right? Because we're expanding like crazy right now.
So you can give someone a job, or is that what you're saying?
What we're doing, we don't say job. Job just stands for just over broke, right? And we don't want
Yes,
anybody to
I
do that,
like that. I
right?
like
So we
that.
offer opportunity, right? Because here we're all independent business owners, right? So we're helping people actually learn. So the biggest thing when somebody's in that situation is education, right? We'll provide free education to them and actually show them an opportunity if it's a good fit for both us and them. We can actually offer them an opportunity to actually partner, become a part of our leadership network. So it's an opportunity where they can make some additional income, right? While they're
Mhm.
figuring out their current situation and achieve their goals and also get free financial literacy information.
Right. Wow. Okay. So the cost of living is increasing and pay is not increasing, right? So
Yes.
obviously it's important for people to start thinking about being their own boss, being their own, business owner. So what about those people? Because I know people firsthand that they're just not interested in becoming an entrepreneur. They
Yeah.
want to work for someone, and it's because of the work that goes behind it. Like in their
Mhm.
mind, they don't have that entrepreneurial mentality, which I don't fault anyone for. Everybody knows they stay in their lane. So
Mhm.
for someone like that who just is just like, I prefer to work for someone. I just need a job. What do you say to them?
I say a few things, right? The first thing I say is, what is your true purpose, right? What do you want to do with your life, right? Figure out what your goals are, right? And then figure out how you plan on what's your strategy to get to your goals, right? I believe that everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur, right? We got to have some people be the worker bees, right? Some people have to go put that work for about around the business that people have created, right? And I say there's only really two jobs in the world right now. There's entrepreneurs and people who work for entrepreneurs. That's it, right? Everybody won't be entrepreneurs. So what we can help clients, if they're not, particularly interested into becoming an entrepreneur, we just show them how we can actually get their money working in the right vehicles so they actually can retire earlier or they can, have the goals they want to accomplish or have their money working for them in different ways where they can still do what they do on an everyday basis, but also be able to have an opportunity to have their money working in the background for them.
Okay, so you say, you make sure they have the right opportunities for their money. So that means they don't have to put it in one place. I think that's where we're at with multiple streams of income because that's my area right there. Like I swear I don't think I could have ever survived being an entrepreneur for over 21 years without having multiple streams of income because sometimes there's some blockages, you
Yeah.
know, depending upon the season. Like I started off as a photographer and there were slow seasons, so I had to get creative with it.
Mhm.
There's wedding season. After wedding season you're not shooting any more weddings, so it's like you can't just be a wedding photographer. You got to say, okay, what's next? Okay, family photography, school photography. So you just got to improvise. So let's talk about that. Like how do you kind of place people in areas where, or let's say you meet an entrepreneur or someone
Mhm.
who is an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur, but they don't know where to start. How do you help them?
the first thing we do a goal building session and a dream session, right? I feel like a lot of people nowadays have kind of given up on their dreams, right? They're not thinking about what they really want in life. They don't even know where they're going. So I'll say the first thing people have to do is before you start thinking about, what you want to do or how you want to do it, what is your end goal? Where do you want to be at the end? And let's figure out, let's work backwards. Some people get jobs and careers, go to all this schooling and they finally get to what they're doing. And like, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's like, figure out where you want to be. What is your happiness? What is your definition of success? And we'll work backwards. And then let's figure out what you want to achieve in your life. Because everybody does different things and wants different things. Some people might want to be, over here. Some might be over there. It just doesn't matter. But, at the end of the day, it's where do you want to be? And let's figure out how we can get there. And then congratulations for you for 21 years of entrepreneurship. That is amazing. And I think, man, shout outs to you. And then also it's like, if you don't have multiple streams of income, how do you ever plan or what's your strategy of freeing yourself from your job or your career, right? They said the average millionaire has 7 to 10 sources of income, right? So if you have only one, how do you plan on retiring? How do you plan on stepping away one day and having your, keep maintaining your current state of your living, right? Or, how do you plan on doing that without having multiple streams of income?
Right. And I know you just mentioned something that I remember we had a conversation about. You said, you go to school and, you work so hard to do this one thing. And then you're just like, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. That was something that happened to you, right? You were working in marketing. Tell me about that.
Exactly. So for me, my whole life was all about business. I knew I wanted to be in business. In college, I kind of loved the marketing route. I was like, I'm going to do marketing. This is what I want to do. Had the opportunity to work for Nike and as an intern, right? And as I was working for an intern, I loved it. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I've made up my mind after playing basketball, after trying to do the overseas route. I'm going to do this. And I get to there and I'm doing it. And I just wasn't satisfied. It was like, this is what I thought it would be, but it wasn't all that I thought it was. Like they give you a little glimpse of it as an internship, but then it's like, I actually didn't see myself fulfilled in those positions after doing it for a little while. So, yeah.
And then you moved on to Google.
Exactly. So then I was like, okay, maybe.
And that's like everybody's dream job, right? It's Google, Nike. You had some dream jobs there, and that still wasn't what you.
True, and it's exactly, and that's what hit me the most, because I'm sitting in our Google campus here in LA, and everybody's doing this. It's a wonderful campus. I enjoyed it. Like they treat it like a college campus, and there's you have your stations where you're working, you have your computer, you're doing what you have to do. Majority of the day though, it's just silent because everybody's on their computer, and if they're talking, they're in a meeting room. Like there's not much talking. Outside of lunch and breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which they do provide, which is one of the best perks about working there. But there's no talking. And me, I'm a social person, so that kind of like being quiet for that long and just typing on the computer was not what I wanted to do. I was like, I have to be around people. I have to be interacting. I can't, this sounds great. And it's like, but I don't want to sit in this cubicle or this posh how we had it set up and just be typing on a computer doing, different codes and setting up programs and doing all this stuff. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah. So then you decided that you were going to become an entrepreneur. And how did that happen for you?
So it was kind of steps, it was steps. I got a little taste of different, I got into different companies and small businesses and working with a few mentors. And as I started, surrounding myself with, more affluent business owners and people who actually, were making a lot of money, I realized that none of them were working. Like they spent they were the head of their companies or business, and they did not spend hardly any time actually doing physical labor. We always saw them. They were going out to eat. They're meeting with lunch. They're talking. They're having meetings, but I never see them working. I'm like, wait, you make this much, but I always see you out. So it's like, me trying to go and do a job and do all this manual labor and do all this other thing. And at the end of the day, the people that are really winning are the ones that actually create the business, right? The people who actually are building it themselves, people who actually are running it. And so for me, it's like, I don't want to be spending all my life building, giving my blood, sweat, and tears, building somebody else's dreams.
Yeah.
When I could be doing that same energy, effort, giving my own blood, sweat, and tears to building my dreams so I can create generational wealth for my family, have some leave wealth for my family. So at the end of the day, when I was at Nike and Google, the biggest thing is at Nike, I was like, what how am I impacting the world? What am I giving to the world right now?
Mhm.
I'm selling gear. I'm selling shoes, sneakers, and t-shirts and shorts. Great gear, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But how am I influencing? What am I bringing? Am I just using the world, or am I giving something back to the world? And I felt like that wasn't really, very fulfilling for me when I was working at Nike, and then Google was just like, we're just making people happy online. Like it wasn't really much of a how am I bringing something to the world? And so
Right.
I
So
came to where I'm at now,
tell me what you do now. And
right?
tell me, yeah, I want to know what you do and how are you making this impact on the world now? Or how do you feel that you're making a bigger impact?
So the biggest thing, for me, going to college, doing like I played basketball all my way through college and going to business school and getting my master's degree, getting a double master's degree. I've never learned about financial literacy, right? And I kept going into that issue as I was working. So I got into trading a little bit in the foreign exchange market and options and things of that nature. And I was telling my friends about it, and none of them had any idea what I was talking about. And I was like, yo, that's an issue. Like financial literacy and being able to help is a huge problem that nobody's sharing with our community, right? I had an opportunity. We have a huge convention every year in Vegas at the MGM Grand and Thomas Mack Arena, which is in UNLV. And I was in that arena, and it was tons of people, very successful people, all from our company. And I'm looking around, and I only see a handful. I'm talking about there's 100,000 people in this arena, and I only see a handful of people who look like me. And I was like, that's what it is. I need to be able to be that person or to lead a group of people to go out and share this information to my community. So many people are winning, and so many people are getting this education and this knowledge and applying it and changing their generations,
Yeah.
right? Being able to really impact a large group of people. And just simply, I love my business. I love what I do because, I can just sit down with somebody and just educate them. I don't care if they become a client or become a partner, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if I did my job by educating them, that
Mhm.
is my heart is set. I am full because at the end of the day, they will be able to know that I actually, brought some value to their lives.
Yeah. So financial literacy is what
Yes.
you do. I know I
Yeah.
saw some, well, before we go into that, folks, if anybody has any questions, please make sure to write your questions in the chat box so that Chandler can answer any of these questions for you. Okay, so we talk about planning for your future. What happens if you don't? And what happens if you do? Talk to me about that.
So let's talk about if you don't plan, right? They say, people don't really plan to fail. They just fail to plan, right? You
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about that. You see, you walked into those grocery stores, you walked into the restaurants and seeing very elderly people, working. I'm talking about gray haired 60, 70-year-old people working, right? I don't think that was a part of their retirement plan,
Right, right.
right? And most people don't plan because what they do is they put it off, especially people my age. I'm in my 20s, I'm 28. And most people wait till they're like 60 or 70 to start thinking about retirement. No,
Yeah.
you got to start planning today because when you start planning today, it actually makes it a lot easier, a lot more affordable, and you can put a lot less away now over time and let compound interest be in
Mm.
your favor, right? And compound interest, if anybody don't know about compound interest, it is your best friend. And
Okay,
when
so tell us about compound interest for those that are listening that don't know.
I love compound interest. So, it was actually, it's things called rule of 72, right? This is, a scientific term that actually was created by Albert Einstein, right? It literally take the number 72 divided by your rate of return. Your rate of return is the interest amount they give you at a bank or an investment company or wherever you're getting these interests, right? And you take the number 72 divided by your rate of return, and you get how long it takes your money to double, right? So let's say, for example, you get a rate of return of 8%, right?
Okay.
Most banks on average are giving you 0.001%, so not even 1%. Let's say you have 8%. Every 9 years, so 72 divided by 8 is 9. So every 9 years, your money's doubling. So you think about, over time, you take a little bit of money, you start doubling. For example, you put away $10,000, in year 10 it's 20, then it's 40, then it's, 80, and you keep going up and it just doubles.
Right. So you're saying you put away, not in your regular savings, right?
Oh, no.
Okay. Tell me about
So
that. Where are you putting away this money?
here, so it depends on the account, but for example, a lot of the investment accounts, right, that we deal with a lot of index funds, right? So they're dealing with some of the top companies here in the United States. Think about being paid 500 times every single month or every
Mm,
year from
sounds beautiful.
all 500 companies, and these companies are the top companies in America and actually some of them in the world. So if you think about that, wouldn't you agree that the top companies literally are top companies for a reason? They're winning. They're winning. So you
Yeah.
want to put money with the winning team. So thinking about that, and you think about putting your money in the bank, right? And you're getting hardly any interest. You're going 0.1%. You know, the bank is charging you and you're getting taxed on that money, and you're really losing money by leaving your money in the bank because inflation is 3 to
Are
six
y'all
percent,
listening? Now y'all listening. Okay, so where do we put our money?
right? So you want to put your money in qualified accounts, right? If
Okay.
you got to think about it, the rich and the wealthy do not leave too much money in the bank because they
Mm,
know two things. They know two things. The first thing is the FDIC. Have you heard about the FDIC, Federal
mm-hmm,
Depository Insurance Companies?
mm-hmm.
They only going to insure your money up to 250,000. So you put anything more than that in there, the bank goes under, you're out of luck, right? And then two, right? They understand that they want to put their money away where they can actually lower their tax bracket so they get less tax on their money, and they wanted their money growing faster because the banks, they're not letting your money grow, right?
All
So you're
right.
actually losing
So
money.
let's talk about this, right? So they're making money and
Hmm.
they're making a lot of money that's taxable. And so
Yeah.
how do they put it somewhere so that it's not taxed as high? Look, I'm like, okay, let me get in
Yes,
here.
that's what you have to do. You have to put your money in qualified accounts, right? A lot of accounts that we have, and a lot of accounts we actually use, this is actually a trick of the wealthy. For example, right? We use life insurance. And when people think about life insurance, like, what do you mean life insurance? Like, that's for people when they die. But that's what they want you to believe, right? They don't tell you all the tricks of the trade, right? So, for example, the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, they actually created this law. It's Internal Revenue Code 7702. Internal Revenue Code 7702. It states that any money that's grown under the umbrella of life insurance is now considered a benefit of the policy, not capital gains. So
Seriously?
yeah. So think about this. So you can have two accounts, right? So you have two investment accounts. One is just a typical investment account, is just by itself. And you have that same account, but it's under the umbrella of life insurance. When you go to pull that money out from the standalone account, you're getting taxed anywhere from 10 up to 50, 40, 50% maybe sometimes, right? Capital gains. But in the other account, they cannot touch a penny of that money. So you can have the same growth in both accounts, but you're losing almost half of it in one of them, and you're keeping.
Whoa. Are you guys listening to this? Like I didn't know this. I had no clue. Okay. All right. So then when you cash out though, you don't have to pay taxes on that?
And that's the great part about it. And you don't, because when you put it in the right account, right, the qualified account, let's say it's in one of those qualified accounts, it's considered a benefit. For example, right, have you ever been in a car accident or
Yes.
anybody ever hit you, right? Did you hit them or did they hit you?
I got hit by a bus.
Oh,
City
so
bus.
they probably paid you some nice money, right? They paid
They
you.
took care of my car.
uh, but you think about it, right? Some people get like a check or something to pay for the next car or whatever. Is that
Yeah.
money ever taxed? Do you ever tax that money?
No, I guess not.
They don't, right? It's because it's considered a benefit of you paying your car insurance. And
Huh.
then let's think about this health insurance. Let's say you go and you have, a copay. Why is it always like $20, $100, $50? And it's never like 19.95 or 34.57 or
Why is it?
it's considered a benefit of your policy. So instead of paying the full amount, they give you a certain amount. So it's considered a benefit. So that's your benefit. You don't have to pay as much as you would be. And it's
Right,
not
right, right,
right? So
right.
that's what they do. So the rich and the wealthy, they actually took that tool and actually put it in their favor because now what they're doing, let's say they have a lot of excess capital, they're taking a lot of this money that's just sitting in their bank account, right? And they're transferred into qualified accounts because you got to think about it, the bank's giving you 0.001%. And then we have, depending on what company you work with, they have tons of companies or brokers who work with a ton of companies, anywhere from 8 to 15% ranging. So your money is going to grow a lot faster over here. Remember that rule of 72 we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
right? Your money's going faster over here than it would be in the bank. The bank's just pretty much eating away your money through inflation and taxes. right? So then you're over here, your money's growing faster, and also your money's tax is non-taxable, and over here you're being taxed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Very interesting. So, wow. I'm still like, okay. Financial literacy, y'all, is extremely
It,
important. I think
it,
we're gonna have a one-on-one.
well, it definitely can be my pleasure, and that's
Wow,
great.
okay. So that was really wow. Okay. So what steps are needed for us to get ahead? I mean, if you can break that down for us.
The first thing is this, right? Get with the licensed professional first, and but let's rewind. Before that, sit down with your family. Sit
Okay.
down with your family. Start thinking about the future. Start planning it out. What are your goals, right?
Yeah.
Where is everybody at currently right now? Figure out where you're at. Then sit down with a financial professional, right? Somebody who's licensed that actually can give you the right advice. Of, like for me, I'm open. Feel free to contact me anytime. And then also sit down with somebody who can actually put you in the right direction, actually get you your goals. Because a lot of times people don't even know. So first of all, what I've learned in my you know here is that my business that a lot of people don't dream. They don't have any
Yeah.
goals set. They're just living day by day by day. So I come ask them, what are your goals? They're like, they have no idea. So the first thing is figure out what some of your goals are. Figure out where do you want to be at the inset, and then we can start sitting down with somebody and start putting a plan together. Because it's always better to start today than tomorrow. Because tomorrow's not a promise for anybody. And then
Yeah.
if you wait too late, it might just be too late.
Yeah, it just might be too late. Wow. That was a lot of very vital information, Chandler. So if someone needs to contact you, how would they contact you?
So one, I always get out my cell phone number. So 317-496-9028, my cell phone number.
Put
And
it right
also,
here on the screen. Okay.
and then also my email address, I can drop that as well. I'll give that to you as well. So people can have that, reach out to me. And also I have a website that people can reach out to me directly as well. We can drop that. And then, just simply just feel, and I also have Instagram. I'm on Facebook, all that, Chandler Thomas. And on Instagram, it's at Chandler.Thomas underscore. So yeah, I'm available to talk. Even if you don't, I don't charge anybody to sit down with me or anything like that. It's all free. It's all love. Just want to really share it to my community, but really to the world. And like you said,
Yeah.
so many people don't have this information, and I just have a joy and passion about talking about it. Who doesn't like
Yeah.
talking?
No, I mean, you look like you absolutely enjoy what you do. I mean, I'm just excited to hear that, although you were working for these multi-million dollar companies and these were considered or are considered dream jobs, that you were like, you know what? I rather, I know my worth and I know that I can make more working for myself. So let me step away. And, obviously, when you get started, it's slow,
Mhm.
and so you have to work your way up and work your way up. But I think it's, the dedication to yourself and your business and watching your business grow that keeps you going. So
Mhm.
I commend you for being able to step out on faith, start your own business, and now help others try to achieve the same sort of goals that you have. Financial freedom is an amazing thing. It feels good. I mean, I remember years ago when I was new and fresh in business,
Mhm.
I messed up big time. Like I was making
Y'all.
crazy money, and like as I was making it, I was spending it. I did not have a financial advisor or someone to, you know, teach me how to save my money first of all and how to spend my money wisely. So I think, for any new entrepreneur that's watching or just, anybody who's been in the game for a while, if you don't know this stuff, I mean, like I didn't know some of the things that you talked about. I think it's important to talk to a financial advisor or someone who can teach you, what you need to know. So thank you, Chandler, for that and opening your doors
My
to
pleasure.
folks to just have a conversation. You said the consultations are free, right?
No charge. No
Free
charge.
consultations. Is that the COVID relief thing? Because like after COVID, is it still free?
We for the community. So we want to share this love. Like our biggest thing is education. We're not here to sell anybody, but we're here to tell you and how to. And that we're because I feel like so many people in our industry only care about a commission, right? And it's
Yeah.
not. It's definitely people. It's people over profits all day over here, and it's really wanted to serve and give back to our community. Like you said, like for me, I saw the big companies, the dream jobs, but I was like, I'm selling away my dreams for a salary, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like. that's not it. So for me, everything we do here, from sit down one-on-one, and actually we do a lot of free, we give a lot of free content out to people just to put them in a position where they can make the right choices and decisions for themselves. Because I always say is, we're doing well over here, right? So I don't need
Yeah.
anybody's money, but I would love to be able to help you guys just with the information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're young and you're doing your thing and I'm so excited, so you're just a testimony within itself that's saying, because a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I have to work for a long time to, get to a certain level. And no, it's really your passion and push now. It's never, there's no age. Some folks, I mean, what would you say to someone who's like over 60 saying, oh, I should have done that a long time ago? What do you say to them?
So two things, you said it before, you got to step out on faith. And for that person, allow their, generations behind them to
Mhm.
tell their story. But like,
Yeah.
yo, this is what I did. This is where I got. Don't follow these footsteps, right? Tell people to step out on faith. I say for me, I'm a believer and it's always put God first, right?
Yes.
In order to have faith, you have to actually have to take a risk. You got to be able to put yourself out there. You got
Oh,
to do
yeah.
what you've never done before. If you're always in your comfort zone, what
Mm.
faith do you really have? You know what I mean? Are you not trusted in God? Don't you live for Almighty God? Like put yourself out there, take a risk because at the end of the day, you always can get a job.
Yeah.
You always can go back and get a job. But
Yeah.
your dream's gonna be there 10, 20, 30 years later.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So if you take that risk and it doesn't work, you have something to fall back on. But
Always.
you will never know unless you take the risk, right?
Never know until you try.
There you
Believe in
go.
yourself. Believe God has put everything we need in us. It's just a lot of programming in our society that has pushed it down, from parents all the way through schooling. They teach you how to be an employee. Nobody's teaching people how to be entrepreneurs until they need to be and are forced to be entrepreneurs. And it's a blessing. I meet some people now who have parents their parents were entrepreneurs and their whole mindset is different. So
Totally.
it's a beautiful thing. I tell people to try it, really bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Bet on
Yeah.
yourself first, because these companies they will fire you, replace you, and you said they always say if you die tomorrow, you die today, the company's gonna replace you tomorrow.
Yeah. It's true. It's
It's
true. Nobody owes you anything. At
and
the end of the day, it's funny when you say, no one teaches you how to be entrepreneurs. Because of that, I now teach my daughters, like I'm like, okay, have an entrepreneurial mindset, and that's super important to me that they know this and that they see me. So I literally take them on to all my jobs, whenever I travel and I can take them, they go with me to see mommy working, to see me doing these things. And I'm like, this can be you. We can go anytime we want to go. I don't have to
yeah,
clock in and clock out. I can make the rules. Doesn't that look good, y'all? So it's like just kind of putting that in their minds. And, my oldest now, she's in college and she always will say, yeah, I want to get a job working for, I was like, a job? Like, did you just say job? Like, what do you
uh,
think?
uh,
But I mean, jobs are not to say that jobs are bad. Jobs are fine
yeah,
if it works for you. But like you're talking about generational wealth. That is my goal. I don't want to just create this and be like, okay, wow, we're living. I want to be able to pass this down to my children so that my children can in turn pass it down to their children and understand, like, if you work really hard now, like your future will be okay.
hmm
And so that's the goal. So generational wealth, yes, I love the sound of it. That's what I want for my family.
and the what
So go
yeah,
ahead.
the way you're going is like it's gonna happen. I believe in it, and that's what we need more of. Bosses. Like you made a good point. You're a boss. Like you're
Yes,
handling business, and you want to create other bosses. You're not creating worker bees.
yes, 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 truly. Yeah, I encourage people to do their thing. So thank you. Oh my gosh. Thanks so much for your
Yeah,
time today.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing all this wonderful information. So, folks, I'm going to pop this up on the screen again to contact Chandler if you need some advice, financial advice. Tell me everything you do. What can you do for people one more time? Recap it.
So one, two things. The biggest thing we're doing right now, right? So actually, let me recap. We're actually, doing a campaign to help 1,000 families by the end of the year. So that's one. But what we do is actually one, build leaders, all right, and then two, we help people become debt free and financially independent. So no
Yes.
matter what your situation is, come and sit down and figure out how we can help you achieve, your goals and get to your dreams.
Debt free sounds good. All right, folks. So make sure you contact him to learn how to become debt free. All right, Chandler, again, thank you so much for taking the time to being on this platform.
for having
I
me.
look forward to connecting with you more.
Be my pleasure.